Hello and welcome to the turbulent world with me, James M. Dorsey, as your host. Long viewed as a narcissistic, opportunistic cat with 9 lives, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is driven as much by his ultranationalist ideology as by a quest for political survival, irrespective of the cost to human life and Israel's national interest. Mr. Netanyahu's ideological beliefs and his personal interests converged in the 22-month-old Gaza war, allowing him to unnecessarily prolong the killing of Palestinians and reduce the Strip to an uninhabitable pile of rubble. Like Mr. Netanyahu, Hamas has refused to compromise on basic principles designed to shape Gaza's future and counter the Prime Minister's war objectives that are about far more than Gaza's immediate future. Mr. Netanyahu is determined to ensure that the terms of a permanent ceasefire squash Palestinian national aspirations and preclude the creation of a Palestinian state alongside Israel, while Hamas is hell-bent on keeping the door open to Palestinian statehood. Hamas's recent renewed acceptance, with minor modifications, of a several-month-old temporary ceasefire proposal, according to Qatari mediators, constitutes a litmus test of whether there is any wiggle room in Israel and Hamas's positions. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff tabled the proposal with Mr. Netanyahu's endorsement. The proposal involves a 60-day ceasefire, the exchange of approximately half of Hamas's remaining 50 hostages abducted during its October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, for an unspecified number of Palestinians incarcerated by Israel, and no apparent solid guarantees that further negotiations will lead to an end to the war. Hamas's dropping of its demand for firm guarantees lends credence to Mr. Netanyahu's assertion that Israel's military operations and deprivation of Gazans' unfettered access to basic human needs, including food, have put the group under pressure. Desperate to project an image of organized resistance, despite being decimated in the war, Hamas's military wing, the Al-Qassam Brigades, released a series of videos purporting to show Palestinian fighters attacking and killing Israeli army personnel, as the Israeli Air Force attacked already destroyed Gaza City in advance of ground forces taking control of the city. The religiously laced videos could not be independently verified. Hamas militants wounded 3 soldiers on Wednesday when they assaulted an Israeli post in the city of Khan Yunis in the first such known attack this month, according to the Israeli military. Meanwhile, Israeli officials said Israel would respond to Hamas's acceptance by Friday. The question is whether Mr. Netanyahu will reject the proposal by demanding a comprehensive solution on his terms in what would be a 180-degree reversal of the Prime Minister's policy, seemingly encouraged by U.S. President Donald Trump. Qatar and Egypt, rather than the United States, the third Gaza mediator, negotiated Hamas's renewed acceptance of the ceasefire proposal. Mr. Witkoff appeared to walk away from his proposal when he told families of the Hamas-held hostages in early August that Mr. Trump now wanted to see all the living hostages released at once. Of the 50 hostages, 20 are believed to be still alive. No piecemeal deals. That doesn't work. Now we think that we have to shift this negotiation to all or nothing. Everybody comes home, Mr. Witkoff said. This week, a statement by Mr. Netanyahu's office echoed Mr. Witkoff. Israel will agree to a deal on condition that all the hostages are released in one go, and in accordance with our conditions for ending the war, which include the disarming of Hamas, the demilitarization of the Gaza Strip, Israeli control of the Gaza perimeter, and the installation of non-Hamas, non-Palestinian Authority governance that will live in peace with Israel, the statement said. It remains unclear whether the statement foreshadows what would amount to a rejection of the ceasefire proposal accepted by Hamas. A ceasefire would temporarily provide relief to Gaza's traumatized population, but would not prevent Mr. Netanyahu from reviving hostilities whenever he wants. It would also allow him to claim credit for the freeing of hostages and to hand Mr. Trump a success in achieving a halt to the carnage. Furthermore, a ceasefire could stymie plans by some of Israel's staunchest allies, including Britain, France, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, to recognize Palestine as a state at next month's United Nations General Assembly and counter mounting public pressure on them to sanction the Jewish state. Hamas has long offered to release its remaining 50 hostages, provided Israel ends the war and withdraws from Gaza. Hamas has also conceded that it will not be part of a post-war administration of Gaza, but has rejected demands that it disarm. Ever since Prime Minister Netanyahu declared his intent to conquer the remaining 1/4 of Gaza and achieve total victory over Hamas, commentators both in Israel and abroad have asked, now that Bibi has climbed up the highest ladder or tree, how can he get down? Ultimately, there is no cost-free way to bring this war to an end, said Michael Oren, a former Israeli ambassador to the United States. Mr. Netanyahu's apparent hardening of his position is as much in line with his ideological beliefs as it serves to cater to ultra-nationalist members of his coalition who reject a temporary deal with Hamas. The question is whether the dog wags its tail or the tail wags the dog. A disciple of Zev Jabotinsky, a 20th century territorial maximalist, Mr. Netanyahu has long used ultra-nationalist threats to collapse his government as a justification for his refusal to end the Gaza war, while in fact, the far-right ministers in his cabinet provide him a needed fig leaf to pursue policies designed to advance their shared notion of Greater Israel at the expense of Palestinian aspirations. Mr. Netanyahu's father, Ben-Zion Netanyahu, was a historian who served as Mr. Jabotinsky's private secretary. In an interview this week, condemned by Arab states, Mr. Netanyahu said he was very attached to the concept of Greater Israel after the interviewing journalist Sharon Gal gave him an amulet with a map of the Promised Land as a gift for the Prime Minister's wife, Sarah. I often mention my father. My parents' generation had to establish the state. And our generation, my generation, has to guarantee its continued existence. And I see that as a great mission, Mr. Netanyahu responded when Mr. Gal noted that the map on the amulet represented Greater Israel. Mr. Netanyahu and Israel's impunity in its war conduct and international relations are best summarized by Meir Kahane, an American-born violent and bigoted rabbi turned politician, long ostracized by Israel's political elite, including Mr. Netanyahu, who was assassinated in 1990. Nothing good came out of Auschwitz. It's better to have a Jewish state that is hated by the whole world rather than an Auschwitz, which is loved, Mr. Khan has said in the 1980s, rejecting already then the condemnation of Israeli policies. Mr. Netanyahu has not endorsed Mr. Meir's brand of ultranationalism, but shares his disdain for the international community and public opinion. Mr. Meir's political heir, Itamar Ben-Gvir, serves as Mr. Netanyahu's national security minister. Daniel Pipes, the founder of the Philadelphia-based Middle East Forum, an influential advocate of hardline Israeli positions, in a sign of the degree to which Mr. Netanyahu has alienated not only the international community and public opinion, but also risks weakening support of segments of Israel's far-right support base, called this week on Mr. Netanyahu to delay achieving total victory in Gaza. With a heavy heart, I advocate delaying victory. Israel must defer Hamas's eradication to work first on its rehabilitation. Israel's victory is delayed, not abandoned. First redemption, then victory, Mr. Pipes said. Thank you for joining me today. The rise of artificial intelligence magnifies the importance of journalists with true expertise, top-notch sourcing, and historical depth. These journalists, like me, tell and analyze in-depth stories. Their goal is to enhance their readers' and listeners' ability to form informed opinions of their own. We don't just chronicle events. Our reporting and analysis are shaped by years of on-the-ground coverage, expertise, and historical knowledge. In my case, I have covered geopolitics, the Middle East, and the Muslim world for decades, having been based in multiple countries, including Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iran, the UAE, Lebanon, Kuwait, and Turkey. Hard-hitting reporting and analysis that lets the chips fall where they may is even more critical in a world of brutal wars, unimaginable humanitarian crises, and increasing authoritarianism. That is the turbulent world with James M. Dorsey's mission since its inception 15 years ago. Thousands worldwide are avid readers and listeners of the turbulent world. Join them in helping to maintain and expand the column and podcast by becoming a paid subscriber. You can contribute by visiting jamesmdorsey.substack.com and choosing one of the subscription options. Thank you for your support and loyalty. Take care and see you soon.